You have a thought, then a thought about that thought, then a thought about whether thinking that thought means something is wrong with you, and suddenly it's 2 a.m. and you're mentally rehearsing a conversation that happened 3 years ago. If that sounds familiar, stay with me, because what's actually happening inside your brain is not what most people think. Society has a word for this: overthinking. And it's almost always said like it's a flaw. Like you just need to relax, let it go, stop making everything complicated. But here's what nobody tells you. Overthinking isn't a bad habit you picked up. For a lot of people, it's how their brain was built to survive. Let's start at the beginning. Your brain has a default mode network, a system that activates when you're not focused on a task. Most brains use this time to drift, daydream a little, zone out. But in certain people, this network runs hot. It doesn't idle. It processes. It reconstructs. It runs simulations of conversations, outcomes, worst-case scenarios, best-case scenarios, and 17 outcomes in between. Neuroscientists have found that chronic overthinkers show significantly higher activity in the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for planning, analysis, and consequence evaluation. Their brain isn't broken. It's working overtime, doing a job it was never asked to stop doing. But why does it start in the first place? Here's where it gets interesting. For a lot of overthinkers, the pattern started early. Maybe you grew up in an environment where mistakes had real consequences, where the mood in the room could shift without warning, where you learned very young that if you just thought about things hard enough in advance, you could protect yourself, you could predict the outcome, you could avoid the pain. Your brain didn't develop overthinking as a glitch. It developed it as armor. Psychologists call this hypervigilance, a state where the nervous system stays alert, scanning for threat, preparing for outcomes that haven't happened yet. In genuinely dangerous environments, this is a survival skill. The problem is, the brain doesn't always know when the danger has passed, so it keeps scanning, keeps preparing, long after you're safe. And here's the part that explains so much about why overthinkers struggle in ways other people don't understand. When you've spent years building mental models of every possible outcome, certainty starts to feel suspicious. Good news triggers the question, what's the catch? A calm period triggers the thought, what am I missing? Your brain has been so rewarded by anticipating problems that it literally doesn't trust peace. Researchers call this pattern repetitive negative thinking, and studies show it's strongly linked to both anxiety and depression. Not because overthinkers are weak, but because a brain that never fully rests carries a weight that accumulates silently. But wait, there's another side to this that almost never gets mentioned. The same neural wiring that makes an overthinker spiral at 2 a.m. also makes them extraordinary at certain things. They notice what others miss. They prepare for contingencies no one else considered. They read rooms, subtext, and unspoken tension with almost unsettling accuracy. Research consistently shows that people with high levels of reflective thinking score significantly higher in creative problem solving and emotional intelligence. Their brain isn't just running worst-case scenarios. It's building detailed, nuanced maps of reality. And sometimes, those maps are more accurate than anyone gives them credit for. The frustrating part is that overthinkers often know they're doing it. They're aware the loop is running. They watch themselves spiral and feel powerless to stop it. That awareness, without control, is its own particular kind of exhausting. And here's something nobody really talks about. A lot of overthinkers don't just overthink problems. They overthink people. Every text analyzed, every tone of voice noted, every slight shift in behavior logged and examined. Not because they're paranoid, because their brain was trained to treat human behavior as data, as information critical to their safety. That habit doesn't turn off just because the original threat is gone. So if you're someone who replays conversations, rehearses confrontations that never happen, catastrophizes outcomes before breakfast, and can't seem to just let things go, you're not doing it wrong. You're running an operating system that was built for a different environment, one that maybe kept you safe when you needed it to. The goal isn't to stop thinking deeply. It's to update the threat level, to teach your nervous system that not every moment requires a strategy, that stillness isn't a trap, that peace doesn't have a catch. Your brain is not the problem. It's a powerful system running an outdated program. And the first step to changing it is understanding where it came from. If this felt like something you needed to hear, subscribe. And if you want to go deeper into how your brain protects you in ways that quietly work against you, the next video is going to hit closer to home than you expect. Click it.